Hello, everyone. This is week 8. We're really into the thick of it now. We're at the halfway point for the semester. I hope you're doing well. I hope everything's going well at home. We got some very important things coming up, and our main lecture, but also talking about a test we're going to be taking care of. And yeah, lots of exciting things. We're going to talk about speech transitions. And I know you've worked with transitions before in writing, but we're going to talk about having them in speech, in conversation, in presentations. And these are quite helpful for that. So with that, let's jump right in. First, the midterm test. It will be on eClass. The test will be open from April 25th through April 30th. You'll have 1 week to take it. You can take it anytime you want in between those 2 days. Once you start the test, you have 60 minutes to complete it. So you will need 1 hour. It may take you shorter. It's not a very long test. It's only 7 questions, but I'm giving you 60 minutes to do it. But if you can't pause and come back to it. So make sure you have enough time in your schedule to sit down, start the test, and then finish it. Because we're online, by the reality of the situation, this is going to be an open book test. So use your material, use your notes, use the textbook, the PDF, but this is not an open class test. So don't take the test with each other. Don't help each other when you're taking the test. This is a test to see how much you understand. Not the class understands, but you, the individual. And so this form of evaluation, a form of feedback, is really helpful for seeing what students do understand and what students do not understand. So we will. It's quite important for that. Parts that you should go over and review: flavorful versus fluffy language, making a point, knowing your audience, interrupting, and introductions. That will be on the midterm test. All very exciting stuff. So go back and review, and you'll be just fine. Let's get started. What are speech transitions? Speech transitions are just that. They're the magical words and phrases that help your argument flow smoothly. Often these are very short, utterances, phrases. These are it can be even just a simple word or a short phrase. Sometimes they're an entire sentence. These small words add a huge amount to our fluency in speaking. And similar how if we, with articles like a and the, those are very small words, but we use them in English. If you don't say articles, your English sounds much worse than if you do. So even though they're very small words, they're very important for sounding much more fluent. And so speech transitions, they help smooth over the boundary between two ideas. They reveal a relationship between the words just spoken and those about to be spoken. We've got transitions all over the place. I'm sure when you've done your writing classes, you learned about, essay transitions between paragraphs, between ideas. That's very common. Speech transitions have the same. Of course, also in art, we have transitions. Film and television have transitions. That's just how the human mind thinks. Speech transitions, or really any transitions, they help our audience understand the message. That's why they're so important. So here, let's go over some examples, different types of transitions. So we have a transition between two similar points, or two similar ideas. I'm going to drink, excuse me while I drink some coffee. We see the words likewise, similarly. This is just like, in a similar way. We see the same thing if we consider. We're taking A and B, and these are close to each other. They're similar things. So For example, I'm thinking of something. If I asked you if you had to choose one Korean food to represent Korea, Korean cultural cuisine, what would that be? Some of you, probably a lot of you, some people say tteokbokki, and some of you say chicken. That's really a bad example, but we'll have that argument later. But some of you would say like kimchi, and that is the very much a representative food of Korea. It's emblematic of Korea. Likewise, in Germany and Scandinavia, countries of Denmark, Norway, Sweden, and Iceland also, their representative foods that they eat every day are things like pickled cabbage, pickled cucumbers, pickled fish. They pickle a lot of their foods as well. They're quite similar in that regard. Why might that be? We don't need to go into the actual explanation of cold weather, but we have the word likewise. We're connecting Korean food with Scandinavian food and seeing how they're similar in some ways. Now, when we have two contrasting ideas, two opposing points, we use different words or phrases. Words like however, conversely, on the other side, on the other hand. I know this is very popular. If we flip that around, yet we cannot ignore the opposing argument. If we examine the opposite side, we see. So we have two opposing things. We have two contrasting ideas. In Korea, the staple food has been rice for thousands of years. However, in Mexico, it has been a kind of corn. There you go. See? Easy peasy. Two contrasting, two differing points, ideas. Now, sometimes we need to elaborate. We need to give more detail about those things. So different types of transitions. Transitions to elaborate on an idea. We see the words also, moreover, in addition, furthermore. In other words, not only that, but 뿐만 아니라, but, yes, it's like that. So we need to go into more detail about things, and that can happen. We also have different transitions to show cause and effect. Therefore, as a result, consequentially, for that reason, this is important because. So we're talking about why A is important, and we go into some more detail, some more explanation. Then going from the introduction phase to the body phase. This should make the most sense because you've done this with writing, I'm sure. Let's begin. To get started, let's examine. Let's get started talking about. Now we've given an overview, let's start with. Now this one is quite helpful, and especially for our class, when you have giving a presentation not by yourself, but with a partner or a group, transitioning from one speaker to another speaker. So this is really helpful to help guide things along, to help smooth over the transitions. So to talk about this next topic, we'll speak. I'll pass it over to now. We'll explain next. All these will be we would have a lot of practice with this, I believe, with our final project. It'll be very nice. And transitioning from the speech body to the conclusion. This one's lickety split. To summarize, in conclusion, to conclude. Let's recap what we went over. All these provide nice transitions for us. Now, let's go back to the midterm test. That was the body of the lecture, the main points of transitions And I want to make a short activity for us just to practice a bit more. But let's talk about the test. Again, it'll be open from April 25th through April 30th. So from next Sunday through Friday. So you'll be able to see this video either the 21st or the 23rd, depending on your class. So and I'll send messages on eClass just to remind us, so don't get too confused. Some points. Make sure you understand fluffy versus flavorful language. Make sure you don't get these two phrases backwards. So that's something that students in the past have made mistakes on, and it's something to check out for. Make sure to check out your textbook, your PDF, and review. The answers will be found there. For the kinds of questions you'll find, there'll be multiple choice questions, yes-no questions, short answer, and one essay. So the multiple choice, yes, no, and short answer, those all have absolute answers. As in, there's one correct answer, and that's the correct answer, and that's it. The essay question, it's short essay. You'll need to explain why you believe something is. You'll need to explain and justify your opinion. And so that the correct answer is not as important, because there is no correct answer. You have a choice that you'll need to make, and then you'll earn your points by justifying, by explaining why you think the way it is. So the question has to do with introductions, methods of introductions, and they're going to you'll need to choose which one you like the most and why. And you'll need to explain why. So hopefully that'll get your brains thinking about what you need to do and how to best answer. That is our video for the main video for today, for this week. Hope you're staying healthy. The weather is looking clean today. Hot diggity dog. I hope you're outside enjoying it. Have a great week. Be sure to check out the activity and the supplementary material, and we'll see each other again next week.